What's up, dudes and dudettes? Welcome to Ben's Blades. Today's video is going to be all about the Reeve small Inkosi. We're going to do a quick disassembly and maintenance. Hopefully I'll get you in and out of here in a really short amount of time. But just a quick overview of this knife. It is in S35 VN. I got this used off of, well, it was either Blade Binge or eBay. That's where I get the majority of my knives from. Most of the knives in my collection are used, and I get them either from Blade Binge or eBay. But the small Inkosi is S35 VN on this particular knife. It's got the Lynch Northwest milled pocket clip in the same rough out finish. I'm not sure what they call this. Hinderer calls it a working finish, but this is, I don't know what they call this, but it's the same finish as the knife, and so it matches pretty well. And you have a nice deep carry pocket clip for the knife. This is one of only two Reeve knives that I own, the other being the large Sebenza 31 in S45 VN. And this knife has been used and abused as well. So both of these are users, and they do get used quite frequently. This one actually goes in my backpack whenever I'm going on hiking or backpacking or rock climbing trips. So there's that. So what do I need to take it apart? I need a 1/4 inch hex and a 5/64 hex. The 5/64 hex actually is the same size that fits in the Hinderer XM18 for whatever that's worth. But which one do we want to use? Let's do the County Com bit driver today. Take this thing apart. And I keep this pivot fairly loose so it comes out without any trouble at all. And let's go to the 1/4 inch. Reeve knives are kind of among the best quality semi-production knives you can get. I say semi-production because they go in and out of stock a lot and they're very expensive. But the customer care and the warranty interaction that you get from Reeve is just about unrivaled. Okay, so I think we have to close the knife just slightly and it will separate. Just like that. Make sure we're clear on both sides and how many screws in. It's such a tightly fit knife because of how precisely it's machined that the parts really kind of fit into place very snug. And there you have it. These do run on PB washers, phosphor bronze washers. And the interesting thing about them, for the Inkosi, you can just get new washers off of Reeve's website, and they'll just send them out to you. For the Sebenza, they're actually custom fit to the knife. So if you need new washers, we're going to the Slip 2000 725, by the way. If you need new washers, then you actually have to send them your knife, and they will custom fit the washers to your knife, and they'll even give you a spare set if you order it that way. So if you're not trying to have to do that, then the Inkosi, either the small Inkosi or the large Inkosi, is the way to go, because the washers are a drop-in part. They are an off-the-shelf part that does not need to be fitted to the knife. This also has a ceramic ball that serves as kind of a, it's their take on a lock bar insert. I think does the Sebenza 31 have that? It does. The Sebenza 21 did not. So they have been making slow but sure improvements to their knives over the years. And, you know, a lot of people look at these knives and say, oh, they're boring or uninteresting or just whatever. But I would argue you'd be hard-pressed to find a more pristinely engineered knife. I mean, maybe Koenig, but then their stuff is, who in the right mind is going to justify daily driving a Koenig versus a Chris Reeve? I know a lot more people that carry Chris Reeves, and they use the hell out of them. These are not pocket jewelry. They're not art knives. Chris Reeve knives are not joking around. They are built to be used. And these two knives get used really heavily. Okay. Now, get the pivot all cleaned out. So I have used arrow shell on this knife before, which is what I use on a lot of knives, particularly for detent paths and some other things. Sometimes I'll use arrow shell on the pivot where the blade makes contact with the pivot and spins around it. But I have found that with Chris Reeve knives, the best thing you can do is use Chris Reeve grease. I have not found that anything else works any better. So, for whatever that's worth. And which side goes on which side? It's hard to tell. I can't remember. Alright, I had to go back and look at the disassembly footage. The knife unscrews from the show side, so the pivot barrel goes in like so. I guess I should have known that. And Chris Reeve grease right here. I think I've never used this on camera before, because lately I've been taking apart Chris Reeve knives off camera. This is the first one that's actually got a video. What the hell? This is all liquid. I think this stuff separates. Well, that's not good. Okay. So let's try that again. It's been sitting there for a while. There we go. Yeah, that needs to be shaken up a little bit. I should probably get a new tube. Come on. There we go. And I'm going to take a toothpick and just kind of work that around. There we go. That's better. Yeah, that's separated. It's been a while since I've had these knives apart. There we go. A little bit of grease. Take that and make sure it's contacting the metal contact points. I'm probably using too much. In fact, I know I am, so I'm going to have to wipe some of it off. But you really want to make sure that if you want the smoothest hydraulic action, then it's imperative that I'm actually going to put some on the blade side too. Again, I'm probably using way too much, but hey, it is not going to hurt it. I'm actually going to take some and put it along the detent path. Okay. And then a little bit of grease along this side. Toothpicks are really good at, they allow you to, you know, smear it around without making a mess. People are probably screaming into their cameras right now. Why are you using so much? Because it's my knife. Fuck you. I do what I want. Okay, I'm going to put just a dab on each of these little contact points. And I think we don't really need to fuss around with it much more than that. Okay, there's that. Put the standoff back in. Pretty simple and easy stuff. The hard part is actually getting this non-captive blade stop pin through here. I've found that it's kind of an exercise in having to really... Ooh. Well, that time it just snapped into place. Usually I have trouble with that, so for whatever that's worth. Okay, are we missing anything? I don't think so. Chris Reeve knives, say what you want about them. They're very, very simple to take them apart and put them back together. Really easy stuff. There's not a whole lot to it. The pivot barrel backed out a little bit, so I had to release the knife from the lock bar and push it back in. Okay. Get the pivot back in. Real quick and easy and simple, and that's Chris Reeve for you. The fidget factor on these is really not hardly anything. So, and it's because of how the hydraulic action, it's really not intended to be kind of a flicking knife. I know some people can, but this is kind of a slow roll knife. Could I even flick it open? Almost. Let me try it again. Yeah, barely. And it's never, ever going to drop shut, just due to the nature of what it is. It's never going to be drop shutty. It's dead center, even with not all the parts in it. The precision on these is just unbelievable. And if you can get a base price one, I think they're still about $425. You are getting a supremely well engineered knife. You are getting what you pay for. My next door neighbor is vacuuming at the worst possible time. Unfortunate reality of living in a fourplex house. Okay, so the knife is back together. Back together without any trouble at all, and oh my god, the smoothness. That's what really is sort of the claim to fame. I hate to use that word, but oh my god, it's so smooth. It's not drop shutty. Never will it ever be, but it doesn't need to be. This knife is one of those that you just don't do that. Okay. Now, we need the LPS2 for the blade. And lately, I've just been kind of rubbing it all over the whole knife, just because it's not going to hurt anything. If anything, it's going to do some extra kind of cleaning to the knife. LPS2 is a heavy duty lubricant. Heavy-duty lubricant, long-lasting oily film, protects against corrosion up to 1 year indoors. So if I have a knife that I know I'm going to stick in one of my Pelican cases and I'm not going to touch it for a while, I will coat it with LPS2 and it will not rust. It, like even the standoffs, which are a lower quality stainless steel on some knives, these are titanium, yeah. But like, you could put LPS on just like bare iron and it won't rust. LPS2 is crazy. Okay, so that's it. It's just that simple. Chris Reeve small Inkosi in S35 VN. It's just a little pipsqueak, that kind of knife that you do your cutting with a full pinky boner, but you know, it's probably the best engineered small knife I think I've ever seen. Tell me I'm wrong in the comments. Questions, comments, put them in the comment section of the video. Otherwise, until next time, this is Ben from Ben's Blades telling you, carry a knife everywhere you legally can. I'll catch you later.